Okay, good morning, you, or good afternoon. I don't know where you are based at the moment, but fair to say, greetings. That will cover everything, right? So, just for those of you not in the same time zone as I am, very excited to talk to meet you today because we have a very interesting topic to talk about, and then this is on the back of a very interesting week for me. At in renewables in Africa. Oh, by the way, you may or may not know me, but I'm Tony Teo, founder and CEO of a company called Renewables in Africa, which is your Africa clean energy champion. So you should know that by now, right? So if you don't know yet, you better make sure that you watch all the videos that are released so far. You also want to make sure that you subscribe to our channel. Yes, we have fantastic videos. Our goal is to make sure that we can demystify the renewable energy sector for you, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are an investor, whether you're a business. You heard about renewables energy in Africa, right? No pun intended. And you want to have a better understanding what it's all about. And that's what we're here. Yeah, we'll cover a range of different topics, right? And hopefully we can make sure that we satisfy you, and also a range of different technologies. It's not just solar. Yes, you've seen a lot of solar, but it's because it tends to be the I would say the dominant technology in the continent. But today, as I say, we have a very interesting topic, right? So, by the way, have you subscribed yet? So have you signed up? Have you left a comment? So you have to do it, right? So we're going to be talking together for about 20 minutes or a little bit more. It depends. And also, if you have questions, just let me know. Just drop it in the comment box and I'll respond to that. So what I wanted to say is I had the inspiration of this topic because this week we released an article, and then as we release the article, at times you have people that leave in comments. We always appreciate that, by the way. Thank you very much. So that's how we know what we can discuss. For example, the inspiration coming straight from that discussion I had, no, sorry, straight for that comment that I saw. And essentially, the person, which will remain nameless, obviously, for I preserve the anonymity to some extent. So was comparing the fact that they are a developer and a contractor and they're doing fantastic work, but nobody's paying attention to them. And when I heard that, my response to him was, okay, would it be a marketing issue by any chance? And then I love his response. That was I find it so funny. So and the response was, no, it's not a marketing issue. It's a communication issue, but not from their side, but from others. So, which I find very funny. It was rather strange. So that's why I said, okay, why not have a conversation about this topic today, right? So, and this is what we're gonna have, and also because on a regular basis, I have people reaching out to me in my inbox, right, and on LinkedIn, or maybe sending me email, reaching out the various channel where we are spread all across. And usually people will ask me, right, whether I can partner with them because they're having a brilliant product, a brilliant service, a brilliant solution, ultimately that I believe is great for the African market, and they believe they want to tap into that. That Africa will just fall in love with this project or this product. Yeah, and they asking me, "Can you partner with me?" Right? So, so I can imagine you understand the enormity, right, of the question, even if they don't always realize it. Because if it's a little bit like, imagine you have this fantastic project, product, solution, and you saying, I want to raise awareness about this project in the US, in Europe, in Asia. So, right, people will be asking you, okay, great, where exactly in this country, right? And also, it's quite big, it's quite huge, right? So, that's why you can see. Obviously, I don't get too surprised anymore because, like I say, that's the question I'm regularly getting. So I'm sure you will appreciate that, So there needs to be a number of points that needs to be touched on to properly respond to these kind of questions. And usually when I go into conversation then with these people, so immediately what you will guess is the understanding is they want to obviously market their solution in this market that is Africa, and they're expecting actually you to market it for them. And on the back of that, they give you some nice commissions. No, so they say, right? So as I say, it's quite a huge Dantesque task. But I'm not gonna come back to. I'm not gonna talk too much about that specific aspect, because that can be the subject of, I say, multiple other lives. But I want to rather focus on the conversation here, which is when you have this new product service and you want to tap into Africa, you want to raise awareness. So, how can we do it to some extent? So, I thought it's good for me to have this live and share some nuggets, right? Some idea for you to understand how to go about it, because it's good for us to remind people that renewables in Africa, the company that I have the pleasure to lead, it's 5 years old this year. I know it flies, right? It still feels like it was yesterday. And we too, we have, as a newcomer into the market, we have had to raise awareness about who we are, what we do, and what we can offer to this industry and to the people. We've had to work to this journey, right? And then 5 year down the line, I believe we've done a great journey so far. Obviously, there's still a lot that we want to do and we will do. I'm convinced about that, because obviously we have a full project that I'm working on with the team. But we've had to work through this journey ourselves, right? So we had to make sure that people get to know about us, right? We have to communicate to make sure that we get to the point whereby people know about us, people want to use our services, and people can recognize us, can recognize our logo. So how did we accomplish that? And that's based on this experience that I'm wanting to share a couple of insights here for you could be interested. And by the way, and after that, leave me a comment, right? Let me know what you think. Maybe what I'm thinking doesn't make sense. Maybe you're coming from a completely different angle. No problem at all. No problem at all. You just tell me, right? And at the end, I like to suggest you something, right? So if you stay right to the end, so you find out what it is. So for me, first of all, it needs to start like any business, any principle of business. Yeah, we need to go back to that, to the essence. So I imagine you've developed a solution, a product that would you believe it suits for the market. Yeah, so you're addressing a specific need, and you know that yes, your product responds to this need. Then you want to sort of market it. You want to tap into a market. Then the first question for me that should be very, very clear for you: which market are you talking about? Yeah. Maybe I may be saying things that you already know. Okay, if you just bear with me a little bit, let me just at least mention those principles. And then, like I said, you can agree or disagree in comment, and you can let me know what you think. So, question becomes, which market specifically are you interested in? If it's to tap into Africa, as I say, Europe, Asia, those are huge places. Okay, America is one country, but still you can see it's organized in different states. Whether you want to tap into California will not be the same like, for example, New York, something like Colorado, and so on and so forth. Same thing in Africa. Which market, where do you want to ideally break into to sell your product? Is it West Africa? Is it East Africa? Is it North Africa, Central Africa, or Southern Africa? You got to be on. You got to be clear. And also, which markets specifically, even in those regions, are you looking at the CNI market, commercial industrial, the utility scale, the solar home system? Are you looking at wind? So it has to be very clear, very specific, right? Because basically, tap into that would be just too big, too huge. And the reason I'm saying that, because when people just approach me or other people, they, like I say, they sometimes, whether they realize it or not, they get from the perspective that, okay, I I know this person that seems to be knowledgeable about this region, that maybe live into this region, and then because he's in the industry, maybe I can, connect with him, and all of a sudden he can help me to spread the product, right? It's not that simple, right? Let me put it that way. So having a proper understanding which market are you talking about, it's very fundamental, very very important, because depending on what market, right, and what sub market you want to tap into, the strategy will not be the same. Yeah, even for one, it will not be the same, right? So, and then that leads me to the second point. The second point is, after understanding this market, who is your ideal client? Who's your ideal client? You have to be crystal clear. Who's that? Is it developers you want to talk to, right? Is it investors? Most likely, when you get into Africa, because you see Africa as a market, yes. Then in Africa, are you talking about government? Are you talking about businesses? Are you talking about the civil society? And even within the civil society, are we talking about the urban areas? Are we talking about rural areas? So there's just so many diversity, different profiles. So you have to be crystal clear. What is your ideal? Who is your ideal client? Right? You need to build sort of an avatar. So, like I said, the point number one, the market. What market? Point number two, who is your avatar? Who is your ideal client? Yeah, it's important for you to absolutely understand it. So the third point, do you have an irresistible offer? Yes. Do you have an offer? Everybody will say yes to it. Yeah. Or it'll be difficult to resist and to say, I can't just go past it. If you have such an offer, you'll be appealing to everybody and to anybody. That's why you see sometimes people having discount, people having some bonuses, some people have some different features, right? So, but I'm sure lots of you will say, hey, Tony, this is common across the globe, right? You're not saying anything new here. Well, you're right. But what I'm trying to say here is when you break into Africa, it's essentially the same principle. But up until there, it's almost like you're having a great product. You figure out that you know what market you want to tap into. You know your ideal client. You figure out what is the irresistible offer. And let's assume up until that you've done a great job. But it's almost like you're into a market, or maybe you are selling. If you talk about a physical product, for example, it's almost like you're having this great offer, great product, but you're actually having your stand in a street where nobody's passing across. Can you see that? You're not on the high street, you're not in the marketplace. So there's very few people that walk past. How do you think you're going to be able to sell your great product? Yes, you understood what I'm talking about here. So the fourth point here I'm talking about is traffic. You need to drive traffic. Yeah, traffic is very important. Whether you're talking about raising awareness physically or maybe on online, it's about bringing traffic. So if it's physical, you need to find a way to get people to come and see you. You need to drive this traffic inside. If it's online, the traffic, you want to look at various channels, you know, that's going to point towards what you are doing. Obviously, we talked about all the different social media that you can talk about, but it's not just social media these days. You have conferences, you have forums, yeah, you have so many places, blogs, websites. You know that, but I'm just repeating and saying, yes, you need to have, you need to use all those various channels to direct the traffic towards your great offer, right? Your great offer. And for you to do that, sometimes people will think about when, for example, they come to us, right? They want to be doing this wonderful article, for example, whatever. Yeah. So you want to do a great webinar. And they're just thinking about a one-hit wonder, basically. I'm just gonna do one thing and that's it. No. You need consistency. You definitely need consistency here. Yeah. So, like I said, the easy way usually I say to people, if you just imagine, if you remember anything that you've bought recently, maybe online, there's a good chance that you may have seen this thing quite a few times before you decide to make the purchase, unless it was um impulsive buy, a purchase that we will say, right? But most of the time, so a lot of us, we need to think through, make sure that we did the right thing. I can say, for example, I'm guilty of that too, right? So I like to analyze. So it's Very few times we do an impulsive purchase. So consistency is very important. So you need to use all those different channels to drive the traffic. So now, once you have the traffic, right, is it enough to create an awareness? Not necessarily. You also, because the awareness will keep on growing, the momentum will keep on growing once you're able now to capture some real customer that will act as your ambassadors, whether or not they like it. Because if they're having your product, your services, if they're happy about that, that's what you understand why the first three step was important. The market, right? Then the ideal client, irresistible offer, right? And imagining that you've done a product that's very, very good. Once you have a real customer, that's great. Then he will use it, he will be happy, and he will spread the word. The word of mouth will become very powerful, testimonials. But in between the lead and the customer, you need one thing. No, sorry. I almost gave up the answer here. But between the traffic and the customer, you need one thing in the middle, which is leads. What I'm saying is actually to explaining that to you, even as I'm sure many of you will understand. So especially if you've done a bit of marketing. So when you're driving all this traffic, is like everybody coming to your physical shop, you know. But you won't tell me that everybody that's in your shop, let's say you go, you've done a lot of window shopping, isn't it? Right? When you do window shopping, most of the time, the majority of the shop you getting into, you don't buy anything. Yeah, you end up buying maybe somewhere else or maybe another day. That's what I'm saying. So from the traffic, the people that come to your place, there's only a certain number that will make the part that would be interested per se, right? That will stay longer. That will maybe make some inquiries. How much it is that becomes the lead, and ultimately from that lead as well. Again, another few, another a small portion would then buy. So you need all of that to create awareness. So just to repeat myself, so that to make sure that it's crystal clear. Let's imagine you have this great product, but I will assume you have a precise idea. What is your market? What market in Africa you're interested in? Who is your ideal client you want to approach, you want to talk to? Once you understand who is this ideal client, you also then want to find out from this ideal client, what is the irresistible offer that I have? Now, once you've done all of that, that's great. But this is where sometimes people stop. Yeah. For example, when I was saying that nobody, we are this great contractor developer, but nobody is talking about us. Well, this is not their job to talk about to talk about you. You gotta make sure that you have the machine to get them to come and see that. It's almost like at the moment you're sitting on that side road where nobody's passing by. So you need to drive the traffic. It's your responsibility. That's the way I see that. That's where I see that. So, in fact, what I'm trying to say here, to be honest, like I said, I'm simply saying something I've gone through myself with my company, people I'm working, even up until today. How do we make sure that people will notice about us? Yeah. How are we going to make sure people notice about us, and then I know what we're doing, know that what we're doing is good for them. Then for them to come, basically how to drive them this traffic to us. Now, how to get people now to reach out to ask for inquiries, basically then say, hey, do you want to help me because of blah, blah, blah. Even these people, by the way, reaching out to me, in my inbox. No, that's another way because we've created some traffic on LinkedIn, for example, or other places, I don't know. Then they're reaching out to me and they're asking questions. That's a lead. From that portion, usually you have, some people that will go all the way and then sort of contract us for a service. And then when they're happy about a service, so they talk about that. So that's why it keeps on raising more awareness. So those are those 5 steps that are crucial. So you want the market, you want the ideal customer, you want the irresistible offer. Sorry, it was 6 steps. Sorry, resistible offer. That's number 3. Number 4, it's the traffic, generate the traffic. Number 5, get the leads from that traffic, and number 6, you make conversion. In order that when you have it, then you create awareness that is sustainable. This is the thing, because if you don't do that, and you need to continuously do it. So obviously we can go into a lot more detail, but I wanted to give you those few principles because I got people reaching out to me. So I don't know what they're thinking about this way. Hopefully, yes. But if not, yeah, there you go. So was it useful? I'm hoping it. If it's useful, do me a favor, leave a comment, like the video, share the video for people to know, right? So we want to do our bit and see that, like I say, we can demystify the sector for you. And then yeah, and I've one final thing to say, because I don't think there was any question here. So I'm just gonna go through and just close, because I don't see any questions. So hopefully that's clear. So what I say, I have one small announcement for you, which is this. I've had a lot of people reaching out to me, and then yeah, I've always say I'm incredibly busy. I can't just respond to all of them basically, and then and as you can imagine, what we do, we are a company. We obviously have to ask people to invest into the service. That's very important. But what we decided to do for this week only, right? So because there's quite a lot of people coming my way, I also want to find out how I can support in a way. So what we decided is for this week, so we're gonna have some free sessions for everybody who wants to know how better they can better raise awareness about the product in the continent, because we've done it. Like I say, 5 years ago we started, nobody knew about us. Now, even the fact that you're watching this video, I guess to some extent we have succeeded in getting you to pay attention to what we're saying. So happy to see how I can advise. So we're having those a free session that we're having for this week. So it's going to be on Monday. It's going to be on Wednesday and Thursday. So, and if you are interested, definitely click onto the link. I'm just going to put the link here. 1 second. I'm just going to have it in the comment box. Yeah. So let me see. Yes. Yeah. So you can see the link there. I'm also going to leave in the comment box. So if you want to find out a little bit more, what I say, hey, that's the opportunity we're giving you to say, okay, no problem. You come, we're going to have a good half an hour. It could be little bit longer, depend how many people are asking for, enthusiastic about that. So we're going to have that free session where I'm going to give you my feedback that many of you have asked for, right? And that's what and we're going to limit that. Unfortunately, I can't do past this week. Maybe, but I can't promise for this format. I can't do that past this week because obviously I'm incredibly busy. However, I'm keen to see people, doing the right thing and also share a bit of our experience, and we can obviously let you know what you could potentially improve in the way you're approaching it. So yeah, so hopefully this was very useful for you. Let me just recap again. So there are 6 steps, right? I say if you want to raise awareness, what we see. First of all, understand what market you want to tap into. Very important. Yeah. Then, who is your ideal client? It needs to be very specific. Who is your ideal client? Don't just say everybody and anybody. Yeah. Then you want to also find out, do you have an irresistible offer for this ideal client? But most of the time, people will get those 3 correct. But the other 3, that's where maybe it's missing. That's people saying, I have this great offer. Nobody knows about that, right? So that's their fault. No, what I'm saying, the other 3 step, very important. Traffic. Like I say, for you, if you want to remember that easily, imagine you in a street, nobody's just passing by. Nobody gonna know about your product. So traffic is important. From that traffic, you're gonna get the leads, and from the leads, you're gonna get a conversion. So those are the 6 steps, yeah, that you need to create more awareness about your product in the continent. And I will argue it works as well in other places, right? And that's what we have been using, and that's where I'm happy to share today. And like I say, this announcement. So if you want to have a little bit more, have a free session where we can look into that, and I can tell you what you could do to improve. I can share a little bit more about experience. No problem. Just make sure that you reach out to us. And the session on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If you click on the link, you will see there is some slot that allocated for that. You can just book yourself there, and that'd be great. So is it okay? Excellent. So yeah, I'm hoping that you had a great time to learn a little bit with me. So it's a Sunday, and hopefully many places there's a beautiful weather out there. and if not, hey, what does he beautiful from inside, in your heart. So yeah, it was a pleasure for me talking to you. That is Tony Teo from Renewable in Africa, Yo Africa Clean Energy Champion. And I will see you definitely in the next few weeks, right? So you have a great day. And like I usually say, may the sun be with you. Good better. Take care, guys.